our Excel work, I'm going to delete this. Oh, we deleted. We had created a pivot table. We deleted that. Good. So the first part of Excel sheet was, let me stop the transcription. All right. So the first part of the Excel sheet was to create this ABC class. If you remember, we created the cumulative value, the ABC, and there was an important step that I told you is um, that we have to copy and paste special as values because we don't want these. So we remove the formula for all this column G. Yes, so copy and paste special as values. Next, what we want to do is we want FSN class. Okay, FSN class. This is the FSN class: fast moving, slow moving, and non-moving. And the policy for FSN is 33% of the material is labeled as F. 33%, the next 33%, the top fastest moving, highest frequency items are labeled as fast moving. The middle 33% are labeled as slow moving, and the last 33% are recorded as non-moving. Okay, so this is I need that label, and I need an FSN class. Okay, FSN class. Now this will help me because fast moving items I want to have enough with me. Slow moving items I should and non-moving, well, there's super slow, so I have to be careful about how much I buy. Okay, so now we need to do that. So again, fast moving, slow moving, non-moving, I don't know how to do this. Or at least let's assume I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to go to Perplexity. We talked about Perplexity last time, and I'm going to ask it to help me. Again, you can do this with ChatGPT also. Why do I like Perplexity? Because it's free and does not need a login. Okay, so some things I use Perplexity for, which are relatively straightforward. So let's go back here. Okay, let's go back to my Excel sheet and figure out. Da-da-da. So I have these units used. I'll sort it from highest to lowest so that the top is at the first. Okay, I'll sort this. Um, but it's column C. All right. So I go to Perplexity and say that I have an Excel spread sheet. In column C, I have, what do I have? The units used, which is the frequency. I want a formula to classify the products or the observations according to the frequency. The top 33%, I want to label LABEL as F. The middle 33%, I want to label as S. And the bottom 33%, I want to label as N, non-moving. If the number of observations are not perfectly divisible by 3, I want you to um, label all the excess as, let's say, n, whatever is remaining, if it's not divisible by 3. Yeah. All right, I tell perplexity, and hopefully perplexity gives me the answer. All right, it has created something. I'll copy this. I'll come here. I'll paste it for one. It's pasted a wrong color of the formula. It's pasted it because I have a. Let's see if I can get the color to be black. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, it's saying C100, but I have more than 100, right? I have more than 100. I have C144, right? Up till there. So I'm going to change that. Where else I have here? I have 100, so I'm going to change that to 144. And do I have anywhere else? C100? I don't think so. But yeah, enter. It has done it, but it won't. Let's see if I can change the theme colors. Yes. So, and I'm going to change this to, let's see. Let's see. I don't have to sort it, I think. Does it do it or does it label? Well, it does a pretty good job. So anything, yeah, it does a pretty good job. Done. Go ahead, guys, do it. Use this formula and write this in Perplexity or Chat GPT or anything you want, Bing. Create a formula and see if it does it. I'll show you a test in a bit to see that it is right. What's the ending? What do you mean, what's the ending, Emma? Of the formula? Don't copy my formula, Emma. Write your own. Use perplexity or whatever you want, but write your own formula. A copy from perplexity or anything. Bing chat is also good. Google Bard or Gemini is also good. So you must never trust these formulas. We'll test that in a bit, that the formula is correct. Yes, the recording will be posted, Marco. I'm going to paste the same question on Bing, okay, and see what it does. Copy and move this, please. And it's so difficult to get these things, the windows to move. This thing, I don't know how to create a new sheet. I'll try to create a new sheet here. Bing. This one, I've Copilot. Bing Copilot. I'm pasting it here. Oh boy. This is too difficult. Can you give me one simple, single? Yeah, it gave a different version of the formula, but I think this should work also. And it's explaining. This is a good thing. All right, Ethan, so long as you got it to work. What is it called? Perplexity. That's the AI. That's a version of AI, Emma. Perplexity.ai. And I have no idea why it's called if you wanted to ask that. Perplexity. I don't know why perplexity. Maybe complexity, or per and plexity. Let's ask it. Why are you called perplexity? Oh, perplexed or bewildered. Okay. Yeah, how many of you have been able to make this work, guys? No one? So I know Ethan has been able to make it work. Michaela has been able to make it work. Very good. Kennedy's has very nice. Oops, battery problems. Battery problems. What to ask it? Yeah, this is what I asked it. I can go to Bing Chat also did it. Perplexity also did it. I think anything would do it. Chat GPT, anything. These are very basic Excel. So I don't know if you guys, I've just made all of you super experts in Excel, right? If you can, all these tools can tell you what to do, how to do it. Excel is suddenly so easy. Finish it here. I'm just giving you a couple of more minutes so that you don't have to do anything for spring break. Yours is not working, Emma. Why is it not working? Tell Perplexity that it's not working. You want to see where it is wrong? Okay. You can, where is the Excel sheet? Here it is, and the formula is on the top. Let me see if I can pull up the formula here. Yeah, tell Perplexity that it's not working, and it will give you a different formula. Or go to Bing, go to Bard, Gemini, whatever. So what this formula is doing, from what I see, is if it's in the top 33 percentile, okay, uh, percentile divides data into 100 parts. So if it's in the top 33 percentile, anything in this region, it is called as N, or bottom 33. If it is in the if it is in the what middle 33, or up till 33 to 66, it is called S, or it is called F. So this is not exactly accurate, because we wanted, I would put it as 34, 67, and like that, but that's fine. Done, guys. How many more are done? So ask people, how are you guys doing? Ethan is done, very good. Classroom people, how many people done in class? All right, very good, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead. So we did this, okay? I have this and I have all these numbers. So now I'm going to answer. I've created the ABC classification, I've created the FSN classification. And now I need to do this part. How many items in A, B, and C categories, and what is the average value per item in each of these categories, right? I need to do this. How many items and what is the average? You've done this, but I'll do it again. Now, whenever you want to do some analysis like this, the most easiest way is pivot tables or pivot tables. I don't know what you call it. So pivot tables or pivot tables are a very nice and simple way for us to be able to do analyze our data and get summarized analysis of our data. Okay, create summaries. So this is what is summaries. So I need how many items. So my table should look, my table should look like something like this. I should have category A here, category B here, category C here, and then I should have average number, or no, it's number of items, something like this. Sorry, NUMBER of items, and here I should have average value. So this is the kind of table structure I want. Okay. And so keep this in mind. Whenever we do pivot tables, you need to have first a table structure on your. This is how I want it to look like. I'm going to delete this. I'll try to remember this and delete this. And I want the pivot table here. So I go to insert, and then I go to pivot tables or pivot tables, and say from table range, I want to take data from here. I'm using a mouse. I should not. Should do it with keyboard, but that's okay. I did not select the total row. Okay, don't select it. And say okay. I scroll back up in this zone where I have the table. Now I wanted ABC here on the rows. So I take the ABC class and I put it here. So I got ABC. I want number of items. So I can take my code, item code, and put it here. So create counts, count of item code. Okay. And I also want the average value, right? So I pick up this value from here and drag it also here, but it's giving me sum of value. I don't want sum of value, I want average. So I go back to this down arrow key here with next to sum, click it and say value field settings. And then I say I want average, I don't want sum. Say okay. And there it is. It gives me average. And just to ensure better visibility, there are three decimals, four decimals. I'll try to make it two for everything. I select all of this and go home. Yeah, so everything is two decimals now, which makes it, and there is a blank row. I want to remove that. So I go to row labels. I don't want the blank. Done. Yes, you should have this. How did you get rid of the blank? I went here. You see this thing, a funnel here, sort of on row labels. And then I clicked on that funnel and I unselected the blank. Hmm? Now, if you want access, how many of you are done? If you are done, try the second question. Do the same thing for FSN. Create or question four, how many items in F, S, and N category? What is the average value of item in each category? Try to do that. Can I redo the whole thing? Yes, I can. Let's delete this. Da-da-da. Let's redo it. Okay. So I want the ABC classification. So I want it here. So I start by putting my cursor here. And step one is I go to insert pivot table. Okay. Do this much quicker and say, yeah, from table range. Insert pivot table from table range. Yeah. Then the table and the range, I select this table range that I have here. Okay, because I want it to work as per this table range. I select this. Done. And I say okay. And then when I go up, I should see that thing here. Yeah, I should see this. And then I go here and I bring the I need the ABC because this is I'm doing ABC. So I take ABC, I can click it, it'll automatically go somewhere. If it goes here, I'll drag it here, or I just drag it. I pick this item code and drag it here in values. So it says count. I want count, which is nice. Next is value. So I pick up the value from here, drag it here. It has sum of value. I don't want sum, I want average. So I click on this down arrow key here and say value field settings and say average. All right, it'll do it. Done. The same thing I can do for FSN analysis. Remember, if it's FSN, this number should be uniform, 33% roughly. They should be uniform. So I go here, insert. I'm going to do this fast because I'm assuming you know it. Okay. Now here I want FSN class. And now I want count of item code roughly equal. So I told you, right? I wanted the remaining to be placed in S, but placed in these two things, which is fine. And then I want value. It should be average value. It's sum. I change that to average. And again, the decimals, because when it's 3 decimals and 2 decimals, we can't see accurately. So I just change that decimals to ensure everything is 2 or 1. No, I don't mind. 2 decimals. Here also I'll put 2 decimals, everything. And then for both, I want to remove this blank row. So I go on this part here, the down arrow key on row labels, and then say uncheck blank. So it'll get rid of that row. All right, there we go. We have 4 done. And now the last one, create a 3 by 3. So I want FSN or ABC on x-axis, FSN y-axis, and I want the average value for each of the 9 cells. All right, I can do that. So for that, I put my cursor here, and then I go back to insert pivot tables from table range. Okay. I want the ABC analysis as my rows. I want the FSN analysis or FSN class as my uh, this columns. And I want the average value as my observations. So it gives me sum. I don't want sum, I want average. Value field settings, average. There we go. And I don't want this blank, so I'll remove it. I don't want blank here also, so I'll remove it. And look at this, it's fast FSN, and it's sorting alphabetically. I don't like that, so I'll resort it. I'll select this and I'll try to move it. There is a way to move it. Yeah, if you select it, and then if I put my cursor here, now it becomes a crossbar. I check this and move it on this side. So fast moving, slow moving, non-moving. I want it like that. So there I go. There are no products which are A and fast moving. They're none. Um, there are the average value, and I'm going to change this 2 decimals. It might not do it because this does not have any decimals. So I might have to do it twice. Yeah, it won't do it. So I'll select these numbers. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I did something I didn't want to do. Anyway, I'll ignore that. I'll select all these numbers and have 2 decimals. And then I'll select all these numbers and create two lessons. Yeah, because I had the blank thing with zero. Yeah, so this is the thing done. Slightly different ether is fine. I mean, shouldn't be too different. Ideally, they shouldn't be different at all, Ethan. I don't know. Ideally, they shouldn't. I mean, because you have standard numbers, a bit different. Okay. How different are they? So, for example, this value is 905, whatever my value is. What is your value, Ethan and Kennedy? That number is the same. All right. So this number, oh, because probably we have different formulas. That's why. Because we used different formulas. Oh, last pivot table. Okay. So let's say this value. What is this? Or let's take a smaller number. This number. What is your number here? F and C. Huh? That different? And this is same? Yes. So that's what I mean. It's we have different formulas. So fine. That's why it's classifying differently. We have slightly different formulas. And that's why this is same for everybody. This will be different based on our formula. And then yeah, that's why this is coming out to be different. That's fine. All right. Anyways, so uh, yeah, we learned. So think of this, guys. In the first half of our course, we have learned supply chain. Yes, we have learned a lot of supply chain, but we have also learned things. I don't know. I'm trying to also teach you how to use these modern tools like Chat GPTs or the LLMs, and they're not just conversation models. They're super useful into things that we do. So I've tried to teach you, smart usage of those tools. We have also tried to learn some Excel a little bit, pivot tables, which is amazingly useful, and with some basic formulas and how to use Excel and the smart tools together. So I hope that's helpful, and we'll go to the last sheet, the news vendor, and try to finish this. I might be a little bit fast here, but you'll have the recording. So, so there is a data of past 100 days of the demand for a particular product. Okay. Now this demand, the product is highly perishable. Okay, that's what it says. It's highly perishable. Whatever is not sold for the day of the demand, it has to be scrapped. So I buy it for today. That's why it's called news vendor. It's like a newspaper. If you buy it for the day, if you sell it, wonderful. If you don't, you scrap it. Now, given that the demand is variable, and we'll assume that this pattern will follow in the future, how much should I stock? Okay, how much? I don't know how much to stock. So this is the number which I must decide to maximize my profits. Okay, that's the objective. So I'm going to delete this number here. But how much should the stock value be so that I maximize my profits? Is the question clear, guys? All right, Michaela, thank you. So I'm just going to repeat for the few others. So 100 days of data. Look at this. We have 100 days of data of demand. Um, The product is highly perishable. Whatever is not sold has to be scrapped. So calculate the stock. So now here the case is if I store very less, I'm going to have too many unsatisfied customers. If I store a lot, I will have excess products which I have to scrap, and that's a loss of money. So I'm going to decide some stock value. Okay, I'll start with 200. Just random. You can start with something else. You don't have to start with my value. So then I will first calculate my revenue. Okay. It says, look at this revenue, cost, salvage, and total profit. So I'll use this. And I like it to be centered. All right, revenue. Now the formula is, let's say the demand is 168 and my stock is 200. How many will I sell? Repeat question. If my demand is 168 and my stock is 200, how many will I sell? You sell 168. Thank you. If my demand is 208 and my stock is 200, how many will I sell? Sell 200. So can you create a formula to decide how much my revenue will be? Talk in English. You don't have to write in Excelish. How do you write the formula for the revenue? Yeah, but sales the demand is different, right? Sales in this case 168 and 200 the sales is 168. And in this case 200 and 200 sorry 208 and 200 my sales is 200. So how will you create a formula there, Emma? How do you calculate sales? Good. Ethan has one way of doing it. It's selling price times demand but not greater than 200, which is means he's saying not greater than the stock. Very good, Ethan. Anybody else? Ethan has a very nice way that'll work. His way will work. Come on, guys, think. You could have gone and asked in this time a perplexity how to write that formula. Kennedy has also a good formula. Revenue equal to demand when stock is equal to or less than demand. Yeah, makes sense. That formula would work also. Very good. Ashley, you had said you know some Excel. I remember that. All right. So in that case, the formula I write is to try and make it. I love writing smaller formulas. Is the minimum of this number or this number, and I'll fix it because when I drag, I don't want that number to change. I fix that times the selling price, and I fix that also. In Windows laptop, I can fix it by clicking F4. In Apple, I don't know, or you just write $C $5. So the three people, Emma, Kennedy, and Ethan. Does this formula make sense to you guys? All right. All right, the next I want is my cost. If I buy 200 products and I sell 168, what will be my cost price? All right, Ethan, you can check it here. Ethan, you can ask Perplexity. That's fine. The classroom people seem to be so happy without me there. Look at their joy, guys. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's go back to cost. If I buy 200 and sell 168, what is my cost? Kennedy, thanks for pasting the formula. But that's not the cost. Nope, nope, that's not the right way. No, it does not. It should not, because it'll take the minimum. Ensure that you have the dollar signs, okay? Did you copy the dollar signs, Ethan? It should work, yes. Ethan, waiting for you. Minimum B $11, C $7. Huh, yes, correct. Ethan, if you can wait for 2 minutes after class, I'll check. You can share your sheet and I can check that. Okay, so what I think could be is that your Excel formulas are not dynamic. Can you go here? Can you go here in the next and see that it should be B12? Here it was B11 and here it should change to B12. Does it change that? Ah, okay. All right. So the cost, again, since we don't have enough time, I'm just going to tell you the cost is for 200. Even if I sell 168, I have to pay the cost for 200. If I sell, if the demand is 208 and I sell 200, I have to pay the cost for 200. So the cost will always be constant, which is equal to this number. I fix it times my cost price, which I also fix. This is going to be cost doesn't change. Okay, perfect. That's 7,000. And then salvage. Now, salvage is a little bit complicated formula. Pay attention. We will have scrap only when the demand is more than stock. If demand is lesser than stock, we will not have scrap. Remember that. Are we good with this? Does that logic make sense? That when my demand is 168, sorry, when my demand is 168 and my stock is 200, I will have some excess material left over, which is 32 units, and I'll have scrap. So when demand or stock is more, When stock is more than demand, we will have leftovers, and those leftovers can be sold for scrap or salvage. But when demand is more, we will not have salvage. Are we good with that logic? I'll repeat the logic. Here, when stock is 200 and demand is 168, I will have 32 units left over, which is going to be scrapped. And I can sell it for the salvage value. But if my demand is 208, I will not have any scrap because demand is more than my stock. So I will only have salvage when this number is positive, demand minus this. And if this number is negative, I will have zero scrap. Should be min or max? It should be max of this. Because if the number is zero, if this number is negative, it should return a zero. And I need to fix C7. Yeah. All right. So this is my scrap value, or this is the number of items I'll have to scrap times the unit salvage value, $5. I fix this. All right. This should work. I'm going to scrap 32. 32 times 5 is 160. So I should get 160 here. Yep, I do. And I should get a zero here. Okay. Control C, enter. I should get a zero here. I do. And my total profit is equal to my revenue minus my cost plus whatever I can get from scrap. I select all this. Ta-da. It's given me the profits for various days. And I calculate my average profit here equal to average of all these numbers is 2,754. That's my average profits. And then one way to do it, which is a very non-supply chain-ish stupid way to do it, is anything stupid is non-supply chain. Anything supply chain is smart way to do it. I can keep changing. So if I change this to, remember, this is 2754. I'm going to write it because I'm forgetful. 2754. I'm changing it to 210. 2737. This is lesser. I'll change it to 190. 2706, which is also lesser. I'll change it to, let's say, 199. 2752, which is lesser. I'll change it to 201. 2755. This is more. 202. 2755.95. 203. 205. 2756. This is more. 204. 2756. Oh no. So 203 is my best value. Right? Probably. That's what it's saying. 203 is my best value. And look at this, guys. Average demand. I'm just going to write here. Even though my average demand is 218 units, I am stocking only 203 units. All right. Because, I don't, the cost of having excess if I have my unit cost is 35 and my salvage value is only 5 units, if I lose customer or if I have excess products, I'm going to lose 30 bucks. Okay. But if I gain a customer, I gain only $15. Are you guys good with that? And so the risk of having an unsold product, which is $30, is double that of satisfying the customer, which is $15. And that's why we are more concerned with having no unsold products and then we stock lesser than average. And our stock is 203, which is lesser than average. We can do this by using solver very easily, and then we can try different values in class. So first of all, I want you all of you to install solver. And how do you do that? Go to file. Ethan, I think it's a setting issue where if you search online for setting that the formula does not change when you drag something like that, it'll tell you it's a setting somewhere that make dynamic formulas or something like that. If after class I'll try to find it for you if you want, but it is the dynamic formula thing most probably, right? Okay, we're going to install solver. I go to file and I go to options. There should be options. Get add-ins. There's a thing get add-in, or it should have options, whatever. I don't want new add-ins. Where did it go? Options. Oh boy. I have solver. I don't have solver. It moved it. Wow. File. Let's try this. Get add-ins. I will go for solver. Yeah, I have the solver. I'll just use this and I'll say add. So I should see in my data tab, I should see a solver somewhere. Yeah, I see the solver here now. I'm sorry, Ethan. Just do the solver directly. Okay, you can do the other parts later. I mean, it's just I think check this formulas and maybe here make it dynamic somewhere now. Da calculation options. Can you do this? Check formulas automatic. Can you check that, please? Is this formulas, Ethan? I'm waiting for you. Is that formulas and automatic selected automatic here? Sometimes it's manual, and that makes the problem that you said, but it should be automatic. Right? So, anyways, I'm going to go to try and use solver, and I'll go to data and say, oh, where did the solver vanished? Huh? Oh, so I closed it and it vanishes. File, add-ins. This is interesting. This is new. It was never like this. Add, continue. Okay, I have the solver here. And I have the solver here. Oh, it's in the home tab. Okay. So I go to solver, objective, pick a cell to optimize. Oh, login for upgrade. It was, it changed this. I mean, I have tried this. I'm telling you, just last week before I created this, and it was not like this. Give me a minute. Yeah, this is a, I don't want this. I don't want this product mix problem. I am logged in, right? Oh, this is a different company. I don't want this company solver. I want Excel solver. Maybe it's in my account. No. Options. Let's get this off. And let's say, give me a minute. This is interesting. Where does it say? Anybody can Google and find out how to install solver for me? Quickly, we just have 4 minutes. Or else I'll have to just paste this recording. Uh-huh. And the last part you can do from the recording. Yeah, it should be under options, Brooke. That's but I don't see the options here. I don't see usually um, file, Excel add-ins, and then solver. Yes, that's how it should be. But I don't know, it's not showing me for some reason. No, that was in Windows also. What if I close this? Why is it not showing me the options window? It's decided not to. Okay, guys, I'll let you go. I won't hold you back at this point. What I'm going to do is we will have two recordings posted for today. One recording I will post till now what we did, and then I'll try to figure out where my solver vanished. And if you have Mac or different machines, this is Excel 365. Each has a very different solver. Um, and you can get your solver in the way it works for you. And then once you've got the solver, the method is exactly the same. But yeah, I have absolutely no idea. Maybe because it's the FGCU account, they blocked it or something. But I'll check this and get back to you. All right. I will end the class here. Have a happy weekend, happy spring break, guys. I will see you in person in class on the other side of the spring break. Be safe and enjoy yourself, guys. Ensure you enjoy the spring break. Take care. Can you see the news vendor slide? Yes, you can. Okay, like here we are. I'm just confused over. Let me stop the recording.